did a little poll last week, so this is perfect, about the playoff expansions. What do the people want? What do they want to see? But I'm going to pass it to you, Ty. You wanted to talk about this some more. Let you run with it, and then we'll go from there, big dog.
Yeah, I mean, they had another meeting about expanding the playoff to 16 teams, where they would get 4 at-large SEC teams, 4 at-large Big Ten teams, 2 ACCs, 2 Big 12s, one of the other conferences, one at-large with the highest ranked at-large, and then 3 more at-larges from all the conferences. I think this is way too many. I'm not like a huge fan of it. I also don't like to admit they admit that like the 2 other conferences are so much better than the other 2 power conferences. I mean, they basically came out and admitted that. I thought that was kind of insane to say, but I mean, we all know it's true, but now they're admitting it. Like, this is not right. You know what I mean? Like, we know it's true, but now you're saying it. Uh, I don't think it. I think it's way too many. I think the 12 is a very good number. I just think we need to get the seedings right, and I don't like. I'm okay with all the teams getting in, the conference champion, but I don't necessarily believe they should be getting buys. I think if that adjusting is better than adding 4 more teams. I don't know what you guys think, but I think 16 is too many.
Yeah, I
I,
think. Go ahead, Code.
I, I mean, you were listing off that thing, and the only thing you're missing is a partridge in a pear tree. Jesus Christ, we're gonna be playing football till March. There ain't gonna be no spring games. We're gonna be playing playoff games.
Playoffs. Look, so for me,
Golly.
I think for it's too we're very critical right now. I think all of us college football fans are, because there is so many moving pieces. And part of what's frustrating is like it's hard to even really complain or be constructive because we don't know what's going to be for certain. It's changing so often. So could 16 work if you can show me a viable plan? Yeah, I agree. I'm not a huge fan. This is where I kind of push back because I've always pound my chest. SEC, it means more. Big Ten, and we're the 2 big powerhouses. The rest of you guys can kick rock as far as I'm concerned. That's the fandom in me. But I think that it's pretty gross when we just go, you're not allowed to play at the same level as we are. Like you can't do that. I mean, you can do whatever you want when you run the playoffs, and that's going to be a factor in itself too. When you get 2 major conferences, it's not that the NCAA, it's the Big Ten and the SEC that are saying that we are more valuable. We aren't going to play these hard schedules if we're not guaranteed X. And so there is a little bit of understanding to that. Look, more playoff games. I look, March Madness is exciting. Like, to me, again, if you can show me a viable plan of how it can work, I think the 12 would work if you restructure it, like you said. Well, let's go to the people. I put a poll out last week. There was almost 400 votes, which is awesome. We've done plenty of
Nice.
polls. I think it's one of the highest voted we've had on. I said, should the college playoffs expand to 14, to 16, or leave it be? 54% said leave it be, which was not as much as I thought it would be out of 400 votes. More than 50%, which is still the majority, but 35% it said expand to 16. I think that a lot of us would like to, because look, here's the thing. All you're doing is eliminating useless bowl games anyways, right? So it's not like these games aren't being played. You're just taking up more room for games that are already happening and putting more legit lineups. The reason why I like it, the reason why we all love college football is the back and forth of which conference is better, which teams are better. You're going to see more unique matchups, right? Like a Notre Dame versus literally anybody. That would be fun to watch. Big 12, SEC, you'll see these expansions, which I think will be better for all conferences in the long run with these matchups, especially in the NIL era. So the fact that the games are already being played, that's why I don't see it as a big deal. It's not like you're just like you're creating 2 more games, or Cody saying it's going to last to March. No, you're just taking games that already exist and just making them more popular.
I don't know. I just also think that like some of these teams might get more and more beat up. Also, I mean, injuries become a factor, and playing as long as the schedule as the NFL. I mean, like
Again, I don't; those things don't
it's
bother
starting to
me.
get.
They're already going to look. It is what it is. I mean, that's just you're getting paid to play this time, so
Well, now you can't say anything because you are getting paid to play. Again, it's a very valid point.
I,
yeah.
my only thing is if you expand it to 16, does anybody really care to see Illinois, Iowa State, Clemson, BYU to make the playoffs? Because that's essentially what would have happened
Clemson did make the playoffs.
with the AP if you
Ole
went with
Miss,
just the AP
Ole Miss would
rankings.
have made it too, right? 16.
Yep,
You'd
Ole
have 4
Miss
Ole
more
would have made it.
Miss,
teams.
SEC.
Clemson did
Yeah,
Oh,
make it, Cody, because they won the AC
yeah,
championship.
yeah. But
Bama would have
I'm
made
just
it.
saying,
If you
Ole
look
like-
Miss
at
would
the
have made
last
it.
years,
Bama and Ole Miss would have made it, and so would BYU. I would have loved it. Yes.
and SE and South Carolina would have made it as an at-large team because they would have been the next one
Would have
of
been a
the
juicy
3
playoff.
at-larges also.
It would have been a juicy playoff.
It would have been very
Okay.
good. I also agree.
That was
Yeah.
that was the postseason AP rankings. I'm sorry, I didn't grab the right rankings, but I was just saying.
You're good.